name's Greg Bruce. I'm 49 years old. I live here in Singleton Heights. I've been in Singleton for 30 years now. I'm actually in 2 brigades within the RFS. My primary brigade is communications, but also a member of Darlington. I actually started volunteering during the January '94 fires. So that I started in catering. They were just looking for people to help out because of the amount of firefighters that were called up to this area. There was a contract caterer and they wanted somebody to help. So I just, when Ava was doing it and she asked me, was I interested? And I said, yeah, I'll come out and give you a hand. Just wanting to help out with what was going on because you could see the smoke. We had ash and stuff falling on our houses in town. So we knew there was something big going on around us. Whilst doing that, somebody said, oh, can you look after this radio for me? And I got into that. And then following that, they started a communications brigade in the district, and a colleague I worked with said, you'd be interested in this. So I joined up and been there ever since. So it's been about over 24 years now. I haven't been out in the truck a lot until recently. It's only been the last couple of years I've been regularly going out in the truck on calls. So I had a tumour sitting along the spinal cord in the 2nd and 3rd vertebrae, and the only treatment was to cut it out. Unfortunately, it was a cancer that couldn't be treated by chemo or radiation. The time they found it, I was given 3 months to live if they couldn't operate. So it was a pretty scary time for the family. The surgery it took, unfortunately I got hit with a staph infection in hospital. It did a lot of nerve damage. The tumour did that. So I actually suffer with nerve pain constantly. I had a child, she was 7. We had just 2 years prior had a child that passed away. So I'm actually probably very different for a person being a firefighter. I'm actually legally blind. So if you stick me in front of an eye chart, I can't read what's on it. But having that all my life, I've learnt to adapt. And some people say, well, how can you be a firefighter? And it's knowing your boundaries, your limits, and the training. Without the training, you don't know what to do. So with that training, I know what to do. Anybody that has a disability usually finds a way to adapt and overcome stuff, and that's how I do. I find my ways. I have some hobbies. I'm actually into model trains, so I do a bit of stuff with model railways, trains in general. Recently I actually went on the All Stations Challenge in Sydney, where you had to get around the 178 stations in the network in the shortest time possible. So that was quite a fun challenge. Other than that, I enjoy bike riding, so one of the guys in the brigade that's likes bike riding, so him and I will go out for a ride on a Sunday, which is quite fun. I just follow him along and we have a great time. Depending what's happening at the time, in comms we work on a roster system of who's available for each fortnight. So if it's my fortnight, I'm the comms officer on call. My commitment to actual on-the-ground firefighting reduces. Probably the person that's had the biggest influence on my life has been my grandmother. She raised me probably since I was 4 years old. Her ways, she's always had a kind of community spirit. Anybody that came into the house, if they hadn't had dinner, they were given a meal. If they wanted somewhere to stay the night, they were given a bed. Probably the biggest thing I've dealt with was this current season. It basically felt like one summer of non-stop fire. We started off mid-December and I think I did the final shift in the comms room about the 9th of March. Look, I'd say give it a go. You know, you wouldn't believe what you can give and what you can get out of it. The pride you have in what you do. Walking away from an incident thinking, I've done something to help somebody. And that's a real big part of being a firefighter, that, you know, you've done something to help another human. Giving back to the community is what I see as being a firefighter.